Welcome back to the Pitch Pod, everyone. I'm your host, Jeff. Join with me, as always, my co-host, Joe Channer. Joe, what is going on? How are you this evening?
Jeff, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. As always, I'm excited to be on the Pitch Pod and looking forward to what I know tends to be your favorite of all, the Champions League. So I know it's going to be a fun conversation. Looking to hear from you, looking to hear your insight and input on this upcoming match. What do we got?
We got a good one. We got Atletico Madrid versus Inter. And this is leg two. Inter is currently up 1 goal. Atletico has a win probability of 33%. Inter has a win probability of 39%. So it looks like Inter are considered the slight favorites. Again, they're up 1-0 in the aggregate for the second leg. But it's not as simple as that. They're playing at Atletico Madrid, and they're going to be up for the match. They always are. They're a physical team. So I think this is going to be a fun game. And to be honest, I've been thinking about my prediction, and this might be one of the more tougher ones we've had to do, Joe.
Well, I think so. I think because of where they're at, round of 16, both are quality sides. You look at Inter winning the last one, 1-0. But now, almost as what you suggested here, being in Madrid, a side that's more than capable, and they've done well here. So, again, even look at those numbers. I almost look at the 39% as a representation of the likelihood that Inter goes through based on where they're at. Not so much as particular to this match. I don't think that's what those numbers are reflective of, but that's almost how I feel when I think of that, because I don't know that Inter will or should have that much success at Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? It's interesting because both teams, sure, they have their stars, but both teams, a variety of players can be dangerous offensively. It's yes, you think Martinez, right? But both sides have the ability to score at will. They don't necessarily, rack up the score, and you don't see 5 goals, 4 goals, or that often from them. But as far as a variety of threats, they can attack from all different angles, all different positions. So I think this will be fun. But one thing I would like to note is, at least at this point, I think every minute it's being updated. But at this point, it looks like Atletico Madrid might be missing Griezmann, as well as another really quality defender. Last I know, I'm blanking on the name, but that's 2 big losses, 2 starters that they could potentially be out for this match. So, that makes me think about it and kind of question my original kind of thoughts on the match.
Yes, I can see where that you're coming from in terms of if key players are out and the effect that could have on this particular match. I do believe that where they are within the season, what they've been doing, though, you have to think and have to suggest that there's a plan for that, right? In the sense that, though, they do have the players to fill, and they do have the means to go about even making sure that they have a well-constructed side, the selection process that goes into putting the side together that's going to be competitive, it's going to get the job done. Now, without getting too far into the prediction, I think that you could say that Atletico Madrid is probably set up to do just enough what they need to do to get by, to get through. And that's probably okay for them.
Yeah. So you got to think, okay, so Inter was in the championship last year, right? And so for them, they're going in, they're up 1-0, and that sounds great. But at the same time, from the mental aspect of Atletico, they're up for this. For them, this would be a huge upset, and this would be them advancing in the Champions League. And I just want to remind everyone, as good of a team as Atletico Madrid is, last I checked, and I'm just going to verify this real quick, is that in their own league, La Liga, they are currently sitting in 4th place. So, this is not just another game for them. This is a chance to, add some pride to the club, add some glory to the club, have something for the fans to rally around. And again, it's they have time in their season, La Liga, to advance, but this would be a really big deal for them. So you got to imagine that they're going to be excited and rallying for this match, whereas maybe for Inter it's just another game, and maybe that's not going to cut it.
I can see some of that happening. I can see where a little bit of complacency might have taken its effect on a side. It's still a challenging contest. I mean, this is Champions League again, round of 16. These teams have to travel a little bit more distance. It's a side that they haven't had as much experience playing aside from the reverse fixture. And then here they are in a game that will determine who goes on. I think Atletico Madrid can do what they need to do. I'll get to it. I think that they can do what they need to do by getting a goal first, right? That is an absolute. If they're going to go through, right, they need to score a goal.
That would help. That would help.
So that is a way it means. I know we're always being facetious about it, but I'm saying, they can have that mindset. If it's for me, if it's for them, they go in there and saying, what do we need to do to make sure we score a goal? What do we need to do to make sure they don't score? Because getting a 1-0 result, going into extra time and this going to penalties, I don't see how that couldn't be a possibility. And then at home, having the fans, having the supporters to get them through, I kind of see that getting there. I don't know, maybe I'm fast forwarding to the prediction, Jeff, but I've all about said what I think is going to happen in this one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And yeah, I do want to point out that Griezmann did play in their first leg, and that's when he got injured during the field of play there. So that is a key loss, and they did have him partially for that first match. But yeah, I think I'm ready for my prediction as well, Joe. I think we're both excited for this. I think we're both like, can't wait almost with anticipation because this is one of those that could go either way. It is a coin flip almost, but I think I have what I'm going to go with. So, Joe, if we'll keep the pitch pod tradition going here, why don't you go ahead and lead off?
I got it. So again, I almost said it. Atletico Madrid gets a goal, keeps Inter from scoring. It's 1-0. They're going in extra time. It's locked down. It's time to make sure that they get the job done, and they're going to be okay with it. If they go to that distance, they're going to be fine, just fine going to penalty kick to win, to go and advance. So I got Atletico winning on penalty kicks here.
That would be exciting. That would be some really good entertainment right there. I would love to see that. I always root for the underdog, so I would love to see Atletico advance personally. Just because I feel like Inter's been there, and I'd like to see the underdog advance. That's just me. But unfortunately, I don't feel like they're in form right now with their injuries. So I got to go with what the majority of people are going with on this one and play it safe, the smart bet, the safe bet, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go with Inter winning this. Actually, let me take that back, Joe.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Go ahead.
They're okay.
Stop the press.
Yeah, stop the press. Don't print it yet. Here's what I think is going to. So Inter's up 1-0. Maybe they don't win this game, but I have them I'm going to have them draw 1-1, and you know what? That's going to be enough to get the job done. They're going to advance regardless with the aggregate. So Inter 1-1 draw at Atletico. They're going to be happy enough with that. They advance, they move on, and I think that's what's going to transpire. So that's where I'm putting my money, Joe.
Either way, it's looking to be a great match, looking to be exciting in that sense, because I think, like you said, it could go either way. And if you look at this as a draw, it's going to be a great contest. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we hope everyone out there gets a chance to tune in and watch the match. It should be a fun one. Also, before we take off here, I just wanted to give Joe a brief shout out. He called a draw for the last prediction. So Joe advances 3 points, still behind me. I'll just put that out there. So it's 15-9, but you're slowly climbing the charts. So Joe is not out of it. He's coming back, and who knows how this game's going to turn out, but maybe he takes the lead in the next one. So congrats to you on that, Joe. Well, all right. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and hopefully you enjoy the game. Till next time. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you like what we bring you here at the Pitch Pod, please do us a favor, hit that like and that subscribe. Don't forget, we're available on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Thank you everyone, and keep pitching out there.
In a game, the round ball, round posts, anything can happen.